You're listening to the Black Eagles podcast with Sinan Schwarting and Kaan Bayazit.
Ahmet Dursun Sergen aldı. Sergen Bülent yan yana. Sergen Bülent. Sergen. Yanında Tümer var. Tümer'e doğru atışını kaybetti. Tümer topu aldı. Sergen aldı. Gol! Gol! Gol! Sergen attı. Sergen attı. Şampiyonluk geldi. Sergen attı. Şampiyonluk geldi.
İbrahim'in pası. Zuma. Şimdi Ahmet. İkinci gole gidiyor Beşiktaş. Ahmet.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Black Eagles podcast. You undoubtedly already know, but Beşiktaş have suffered their first defeat in the league at the hands of the reigning champions Galatasaray. 2-1 in the Türk Telekom Arena, or whatever it's... Ramspark, sorry, that's what it's called nowadays. 2-1 after a fairly even game, I would say. Lack of quality on our part, maybe. I think they won purely on individual quality on the set pieces. But I'm not alone to talk about that. My name is Kaan Bayazit. As always, I am joined by my co-hosts Sinan Schwarting and Kartal Uğur, and we are here to talk you up to speed on the game in case you missed it, or in case you're you're wanting to wallow in self-pity with us today. Guys, welcome to the show. I am going to get straight into it. No chit-chat, no introductions. Sinan, we lost the game. What do you think were the main reasons for this result, and do you think it was deserved? And a special question I would like to add on top of that: would you have taken a loss on Thursday for, at the very least, a point today? And I'm going to pose the same question to Kartal after.
I'm going to give you a good answer for that one, but remind me about that question later.
I'll remind you.
So as far as this match goes, did we deserve it? Even that, like, all of these questions have, we could get philosophical on all of it.
Yeah, I mean, like in Ajax, I think you can say we deserved.
Oh, we deserved,
to lose
for
that
sure.
game. Were you at all disappointed with the tactical layout of the game plan from Giovanni van Bronckhorst today? Were you more disappointed with individual mistakes from players, individual performances from players? What did you think of Giovanni's plan? What do you think of the players' performances? And at the end of the day, do you think Galatasaray showed enough on the day to earn 3 points against us today?
Ooh, okay. So first of all, I think Giovanni van Bronckhorst basically set us up to play a brand of football that could have worked, I think, right? You always do the thought exercise of, like, out of 10 games, how would this match have gone?
Yeah.
And I think you could say that we probably would have, like, won 4, they would have won 4, and there would have been 2 draws. You know, and this was the type of match where, like, in a lot of ways, they did exactly what we expected. We didn't let them score anything in free play. They had a ton of shots, but nothing very well constructed. They were playing on the counter. We had the ball for the most part. They had very few passes completed, I think. You know, we'll have to look at those stats at some point. But it certainly seemed like, you know, we were, in the sort of traditional sense, sort of dominant, and so insofar as we were possessing the ball for much of the game, not even like in the back in our defense, but obviously they scored twice, and they scored twice on set pieces, which they'll say, yes, but that's our strength. To which I would say, that's a lame ass strength. You are.
I'm not gonna lie, I wish we had that strength.
I do too. I wish we had that strength too, but I also wish that, like, I think like it's not that effective in Europe, right? Because
I think it is. I think
you have
set pieces are one of the most important things in football.
No, but I just mean that, like, most big clubs have central defenders who are, like, aerially dominant that won't, like, I mean, Davinson Sanchez, to be fair, was like a sort of shoulder above everyone else in the box, and, like, there wasn't much. You can't even really single anyone out. Like, that's just clearly something they're very good at, and they have guys who are physically very dominant in the air. So I don't know.
Apparently,
it sucks.
the
It sucks that we fell into that trap.
Mentioned this was their 12th goal on set pieces, but he did include throw-ins and penalties and stuff like that. So I believe it was 4 goals on corners, 4 goals on free kicks, 2 or something on a throw-in or something like that, and now like 1 on a penalty or something like that. It was something along those lines. But they have clearly scored a lot of goals on set pieces. Yeah. What about the? Yeah. Did you think it was a deserved win? Just yes or no?
No.
All right.
I don't.
I'm gonna move over to Kartal now. Kartal, did you think that was a deserved? I'll get back to you in a bit, Sinan. But did you think that was a deserved win for the hosts tonight?
Yeah, I do. I think they deserve to get the 3 points. Maybe they didn't play more attractive football than us. They didn't, but I think they were a lot more effective than we were. They created more chances. The stats show that they had triple the XG that we did. And I think they deserve to win this game. And look, I'm pissed off.
How much of that XG came after the 2-0 though? Because I think right up, I think they scored the 2-0 at the perfect timing, because at that point, you remember when we were talking just Friday about you could feel the goal coming against Lyon, right?
Yeah.
And it was very much the same here. At 1-0, we were the ones pounding on the door. We were coming. We had a couple of half-decent chances, and then they scored on a free kick when they were doing nothing at that point in the match. At that stage in the game, they weren't doing anything. Like, do you remember any chances after 1-0? Any big chances after 1-0? I don't really.
I can't remember. They had a couple of dangerous ones right at the start, man. That's what annoys me so much about Semi giving away that free kick. They led to their first goal, because see that chance that Eurosmith off the sly cross. It was a great save from Asien from that corner. I can't remember if it was Osimhen or Davinson got a head on Osimhen, and Asien was forced into the save. To me, that was a fucking warning.
That was a warning, of course. Yeah.
I said, we need to limit the set pieces. In Semi, when there's no danger at all, man, just bring. See if you just defend him. Icardi's got his back to you. You're facing that way, and it's going out for a touch. See if you defend him and don't foul. The ball's probably just going to, you might win the ball back, or you're probably just going to push him further and further away from. What do? You foul them. You give them a great set piece. And see, to be honest, I'm not pointing any fingers in terms of the defending for that first one. The second one I do. The first one, I think Udekai done basically everything he could. He tried to get his head onto it, he just couldn't. Davinson beat him to it. These things happen, fair enough. That's why I point the finger to Semi.
And I want to go, before we get too far into the details though, Kartal, because what we're talking about here, we're answering Khan's question of whether we deserved to lose. And I think, right, like, you can look at stats and you can look at sort of singular opportunities, and like, frankly, you think of a couple of those Rafa shots, like those were much better chances than I think they created. I don't know how they're not considered big chances, but just to hold on. But the larger point though, when you're considering deserved, and I don't know if you saw my little VAR motion there, but that's connected to it. Like, the best player on Galatasaray's team this entire match was Davinson Sanchez. I think we could all agree with that, right? But if we're talking about whether, and if we talk about whether they deserve to win, it's probably worth noting he earned 3 very clear yellow cards in this match, which I don't know. He only had 1 called, but that, let's talk about deserved. I think that factors in. Barış Alper Yilmaz, 2 yellow cards at least. One of them might have been a red, to be 100% honest. So, like, the ref plays a role in all of this. And if you're, again, deserved, that's why I was so pensive on it, because it is. And I said I had to be sort of philosophical, because
subjective, of course.
Right? Like, if you think about, again, the run of play, the fact that we were playing our brand of football, the fact that we created some pretty, I think, clear opportunities. I think if you talk about deserved, some of their players deserve to have been taken out of this match by the referee. And they got quite a few sort of extra leases on life there that I don't know how you look at that objectively and you think that they didn't. I don't know.
I agree with you. The referee was bad, but in terms of, I don't agree that we created more chances than they did. For example, Fort Mob has got them as missed 3 big chances. We didn't miss any, according to Fort Mob.
Yeah, I just said I don't know how they don't consider those, like the Rafa chance, for example, at the end of the half. How is that not a big chance? He's in the box.
Yeah, but
it's basically 1-on-1, and they forces a save by their keeper.
It's a tight angle, though. That's the thing. To be honest, I'm trying to think of what their big chances were.
The Batshuayi one, the Yunus one, and then I don't know about the third one.
Even the Batshuayi, I mean, there was a lot of space, but was that in the box, or wasn't that maybe even just outside?
No, I think that was, but that was also like in minute 95 when we had just scored and
garbage time. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't think you can look at the big chances created stat today and say, okay, they deserved it based on that, because one of them came right after we had a super big chance, which doesn't even get counted because Simi fucks
Yeah,
it.
what about the semi one? Yeah, exactly.
That comes right before the Yunus opportunity.
Bro, he took a shit shot into the square in it to Rafa. That's right.
Yeah, but that's a big chance though, Kartal.
But it's still a chance in the box from like 3 feet away.
I was swearing at Semi for 5 minutes, man. After that,
it doesn't.
And then he did that fucking foul as well.
Yeah, but
I just want to say, Cartel, I've said that I have this conspiracy theory for a long time, that because like it genuinely feels that Fatmab has some sort of glitch to that guy.
But that's the flaw. That's the flaw in these types of statistics. Because he makes the wrong decision, they don't count it as a big chance. But of course, that was perhaps the biggest chance of the match. If he squares that to Rafa, it's a goal. And there's no excuse for him not doing that. It's just Simi, his lights going out and him choking at the biggest stage in the Turkish league. And I have to be quite honest. I think in every derby so far, other than the Trabzon game, I think he's been shit. He doesn't show up for these matches, and that's not abnormal. He's a 19-year-old kid. He needs experience. And a lot of pressure is put on his shoulders, of course, in that scenario. But I do think if he was truly exceptional, world-class level talent, I think he lays that off and we score. I think that's the difference between a very good talent like Simi and like Lamine Yamal, for example. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to diss Simi here. Huh? Like,
no, but look, you're absolutely right. And I think to clarify what you mean by choking, this was his big chance. Everyone's been advocating for him to get starts, right? Everyone's saying he's not playing enough. He gets his opportunity in a huge match, and he puts out, I think we can say fairly objectively, his worst match of the season so far.
The sad thing is,
I don't know. It is what it is, right? That's choking.
I've thought Semi's not been good all season. Mm-hmm. He's been a moment for us. But the sad fact is that there's no one fucking better to play in that position. He's the best option we have in that position, unfortunately. So he does. I still think he has to play.
Yeah. Also,
maybe Muji's knocking on that door again.
The only way.
No, I'm kidding.
I don't think so. I don't think anything.
I'm just joking.
But
Muji's been fresh, to be honest.
The only way to get over that hump as well for Simi is by playing, and maybe had he gotten more minutes, tanked a little bit more confidence, he would have been in a different position. I also think we mentioned this against Lyon. I think, was it against Lyon or was it the game in the league? It might have been in the league game. I don't even remember. But we mentioned that Simi looks like the pressure's getting to him, because positions he would last season in his good period he would have done more with. Now he's taking an extra touch. He's hesitating. And I do think that's something that you can only overcome by getting rid of that. Added pressure and scoring a goal. And over the last couple of weeks he could have gotten more minutes. He might have gotten that goal that might have done him a little bit good. I note down, Sinan, you don't think they deserve to win. Kartal, you think they deserve to win. I personally think this was a draw game.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe it's a draw more than us.
This game did not deserve a winner. I don't think they were good at all. I don't think we were good at all. I think we were better for open play. I think we were the better team, but they had more quality than set pieces. I have been heckling our set piece deficiencies for I feel like months now. I mean, I think today this is an example of Galatasaray are not a perfect team by any stretch of the imagination. I think they have weaknesses. Our weaknesses today were also apparent: lack of wingers, lack of set piece proficiency. They have that set piece proficiency, and they won based on that. I think, like I was saying to you, Kartel, at 1-0, I felt like we were gonna score, and that if we do not, I think if we do not concede that second goal on that set piece at that point in time, I think we score, because the goal was loading, the goal was coming. You could feel it. The momentum was in our favor, and then they scored against the run of play on a set piece, which I didn't even think was a set piece. I don't know how you guys felt about that.
Yeah, that was a very dubious call. Very dubious.
To be fair, I think Svensson was pulling him. I saw that in the replay. Like, at first I thought...
Yeah, but Kartel, they didn't call it on the pulls. It was like the contact after.
And I felt Rafa was fouled at the other end by Barış Alper like seconds before. But I think we're nitpicking now a little bit. I also don't feel like it's too fair to put everything on the referee either. I do think we lost on our own shortcomings. But before we get further into anything, let's have a quick look at the lineups for tonight. Sinan, can you just quick fire go over them, please?
Fernando Muslera is their goalkeeper. Khan, Sanchez, Abdul Karim, and Barish on their back line. I'm not doing any of the info. Salai,
just go. Just get through it.
Sada, Yunus, and then Icardi and Osimhen up top. Usually I do their background and their age. I'm not doing any of that for these bastards. Of course, for us, Ersin was in goal with Mert Günok still injured, unfortunately. Felix Udokai was on the back line alongside Emirhan Topçu, who was filling in still for, of course, Gabriel Paulista. Arthur Masuaku played on the left side opposite Jonas Svensson, with Cher and Dur in the back for I presume still ailing or slightly ailing Al-Musrati, with Jedson pairing with him on the back of the midfield, with Rafa positioned ahead of them. Although I will say that he and João Mario, who starts out on the right side, inverted at some point, it seemed like fairly early on in the match. Semi Kilitsoy, of course, played on the left side with the indomitable Ciro Immobile up top. And that's about all I got to say for that lineup, except I do want to go on the record with this before we even say anything else. I think Masuaku had one of his worst performances of the season out there today, unfortunately.
Really?
I thought he was one of our poor performers.
Okay. He didn't particularly jump out to me. In fact, I don't know. I mean, I didn't really feel like anyone was super bad on the night.
I thought pretty bad, to be honest.
Who?
Ciro.
What did you think was so bad about him? Because you were saying that in our group chat, and I just couldn't.
I felt like his passing was sloppy. One time he lost the ball, we almost conceded as well.
Okay. So he was bad because he lost the ball once?
He had quite a few sloppy passes, man. It wasn't just that. His link-up play wasn't good today, which is normally can be good. Today, I didn't think it was good at all.
Okay. I didn't jump out to me at all that he was bad. Like I said, nobody really stood out to me. I thought we had the best of the match for the most part, really. Like, from open play.
We were playing our style of play, man. Like, dude, I think we have to get to the stats at some point, because let's
get to them. Yeah.
I want to know how many.
I mean, how
many passes? Look at that! Look at that! Galatasaray only completes 202 passes. It's almost like we're playing an Anadolu side, and only at a 75% rate of efficiency too. Like, you rarely see that. We haven't seen that in a minute because of Europe and all that. Like, we were very much playing our brand of football. Obviously, we could have created more chances.
I think I mean, if you look at these stats, other than the XG, the total shots and the shots on target, which are the most important ones. I mean, the goal scored one is obviously the most important one. But I think take those two set piece goals away, and I think you have a very different
you're
game. I
looking
mean,
at a different game.
I think if Simi squares that ball in minute 4, Rafa scores, and we win this game.
Probably.
And that's
Yeah,
it. Yeah, I think
I mean-
I think that's the difference. They were very efficient on their set pieces, and our one big moment, which came in moment 4 already. That's before they scored, because they scored so early. Of course, we need to do better with that. But I don't want to blame Simi for it. He's again 19 years old. He needs to learn. He needs to mature. And the only way by doing that is playing, of course. But let's go over these stats,
All right. So we had 60% of the ball. I think it was close to 61, but they're rounding down to their 40. Their XG was 1.87 to our 0.59. Total shots were 20 to our 8, on target 6 to our 2. They had 4 big chances to our 0, and they missed 3 of them, which I think is a bit flattering. But we've already sort of talked about that, I guess.
So they count those free kicks as big chances. So then probably the Osimhen free header on the corner must count as a big chance then.
Yeah.
And that's really it then. So then it's the Yunus one in minute 5 or whatever it was, the Osimhen header, and then right at the end the Batshuayi chance, and that's it. I think.
Yeah.
That's their chances. That's their big chances missed. So
Exactly.
I don't think you can put too much stock in those stats. Of course, I do think you have to take into consideration that we did not have any big chances on paper here. I think the Joao Mario position on the back heel from Rafa is a 100% big chance, but the shot was too central.
I think if that ball was better, it came in better for Rafa and didn't have to go after it. Probably.
Yeah, and there was a moment as well where Rafa gets sent through and he plays it around Muslera, and Sanchez just follows through really well and gets on that ball first. And I think take Sanchez out of the game today, put Nelson in there, and we win this game 3-0 or something.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think that's why we won 5-0 in August, because Sanchez wasn't there.
Yeah, that's perfectly plausible. But also, we weren't handicapped in August. We didn't miss Musrati. We didn't miss the only winger we have in the squad, Rasička. I think all of that plays a part. And of course, they didn't have Sanchez. And Sanchez today was by far and large the man of the match.
I think Sarah,
Also, we didn't have Merit, I suppose. It's worth
Sarah was a big difference maker as well. I mean, it was him that played those 2 set pieces into the box.
Yeah, but even if he plays, take Sanchez out of this game and we win. Pretty sure.
Probably. I agree with that, bro, because there was even like crosses in, he just slide in and like block the crosses and shit, man. He was really good. I think that guy's just too good for our league, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I'm making a plea, man.
Somebody buy him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Tottenham. He's ready to come back.
Didn't he come from there? I was gonna say.
Exactly. He's ready to go home. Bring him home.
Napoli were supposedly interested this summer.
I'd say it's that important. See if Napoli were to give Osimhen on a permanent in exchange for Davinson, I'd say okay, do that deal.
Yeah, exactly. I'm much more scared of Davinson. Anyway, I didn't finish with the stats though. We didn't get to the good one, which is that we completed 347 passes. There are only 202, which is wild. I don't know how they only completed that few passes. And again, fairly inefficiently at 75% rate of completion. We only completed our passes at a 79% rate. And I think if it's our usual like 83 or whatever it is that we kind of average around, we probably win this game, because it's those few passes that didn't connect in the midfield that ultimately didn't result in chances, I think, and that's where I think a lot of us were probably frustrated, was just a bit of carelessness in the build-up. Rafa was like, it's one of those games where he was great in moments, and then he was also quite frustrating in others, right, where he wasn't.
Yeah,
quite...
I felt like today, if he played in the center, he could have done a lot more damage, because I really felt there was a lot of opportunity there, and having him out wide for the most of the games. Yeah.
Gio's went for the refs, man. We need to read these statements, man.
You can
save those.
You can read
Cartel.
them in a bit, Cartel. Let's continue with these stats.
Yeah, they committed 21 fouls to our 13. 21 fouls.
Yeah, they fouled a lot.
I wonder if that's like a record for the Super League this season. That's a lot of fouls.
No, I don't think so.
Offsides once to our 3. They had 8 corners to our 5.
I mean,
which is wild. I
that's
guess
also,
20 shots. With 20 shots, you're
that's
gonna
of
get
course
a lot
also
corners
part
on
of the reason why we didn't create as many chances as we perhaps could have. Is also they stopped a lot of our attacks early.
Yeah, I said that when I was watching the game. Girls there sitting, not the girls that cares about football, but because she's the only person I can talk to about it during the game, I said that. I said no. They keep trying to. They're playing dirty. They keep stopping us with fouls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That during the game.
21 of them apparently. Cartel, give us those dual stats.
Okay, so for the duels, we won 68, they won 55, so we won 55% of them to their 45. Ground duels, we won 52% of them, which was 46 to 43. Obviously, if we had 52, they had 48% of them won. Aerial duels, we won 65% of them, which was 22 to 12.
Except for the two that didn't, that fucking mattered, you know.
I suppose if we didn't win the 22, there would have been more that mattered. So it's not a great way. But obviously, I know having a laugh there, I can. But successful dribbles, we had 13, 50%. So that means we had 26 dribble attempts altogether. They had 8 successful dribbles, which was 53%. So that'd make you think that they had 15 dribble attempts. Well, it would have been 15 dribble attempts. Yellow cards, we had 3, they had 4. And the big debate here really is red cards, 0 for them, 0 for us. But arguably they should have had 2.
Yeah.
They should have. But I don't want to be that guy that just blames the referee. But they should have had 2. I think Davinson should have been sent off, and Barishad should have been sent off. Have you got any photos, Can? Just so
I
we
don't,
can...
but
You want me to say?
No, I saw one of them pass by. I don't think it's a red, man. Like I don't think the foot is high enough.
Okay, with the Barishad last man situation.
Again, I think they get really lucky there because I think there's one of their guys in the center, and
I don't know, man. I think he's last man. I think he's yellow card.
Yeah.
And Davinson get a yellow card as well, so if he at least got a yellow for that foul on Rafa, he would have been sent off.
Oh, for sure. Wasn't that Barish Alper though, the last man situation?
Last man was Barish Alper, man, but Davinson Sanchez did get a yellow card, so if he at least got a yellow for the foul on Rafa.
The foul on Rafa is 100% yellow. Yeah, you cannot debate
so if
that.
there's a yellow for that, and then he got a yellow card later on, he would have been sent off.
Yeah, but that's I don't like doing that because a player who's on a yellow is more cautious. The game doesn't go the same way.
So you think the referee had a okay game then? We didn't fuck us over at all.
I think it's harsh to say. I mean, it's not like there was like a stonewall penalty we should have gotten or something like that. I think.
Did you see Davinson Sanchez hook that guy in the first half? I can't remember who it was on our team, but he flopped around. He the first tackle was like dirty, but okay.
Oh yeah, on Chiro, I think that was.
Yeah, and then the second one he stuck. He kicked out, missed the ball, but didn't contact anyone. It was aggressive, but okay, fine. And then finally, because we get the ball and we're gonna counter, he just literally took both of his legs and hooked them around one of our guys, and there was not even a call. I mean, maybe it was a foul, but there was certainly no card given. And so for me, that was the first obvious one, and then the second one was, I think, the one Karcha was talking about, where he literally kicked
Rafa in the shin.
Yeah, that one was 100% yellow. I think it's harsh to give a red perhaps. I mean, I don't know, man.
Well, but Khan, remember, he did get one yellow in the second half, so that would be, again, as Kartel said, that's his second. So
yeah, but that you can't think like that because the game will not go the same. If he's already on a yellow, he'll be more cautious. I think that's just that doesn't work like that, man. Like if it's a red card,
if he's playing more cautiously, then maybe he doesn't beast for much of that game the way he does.
Maybe. I don't think either is a red.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, I think you're right. If as far as considering who played and what happened on the pitch, That's a whole other conversation, right? Like, it was a good, I think, evenly fought match. As far as the refs go, right, that's a whole other conversation. I think it's like ever present. That if you want, we can just put that aside, on principle, which is fair. That's
people
fair.
in the comments should let us know, by the way, what they thought, if it should have been a red card for Davinson Sanchez and or for Baris Alper Yilmaz, whether they think that was a last man position. I think that was.
Speaking of comments, should we do some before we move on?
Let's do that. But first, I do think, Ketal, I think sometimes you have last man situations where I do think it's a last man situation. Don't get me wrong. I just think that the way to goal is far enough. There's a guy in the center, also one of our guys, by the way, with that man. So I think if he sends him off, I don't think they can say much. But I also think that it's not clear enough. Chiro isn't ahead of the game enough. Like,
I don't know, man.
I think it would have been a little harsh. I understand that he just gave a yellow. I think if the roles were reversed, I would be a little pissed if we got a red card there.
Yeah.
But that's another case of what should have been a clear second yellow. If he can't commit that foul in that position, right? Like, how does he stop what is, as you say, sort of a 50-50 one-on-one?
I think Chiro is true on goal, but I do think there's people to still not catch him necessarily, but close him down. But then, of course,
and the smart move is probably if he comes in forward and he has space and he pulls in that central defender, he probably gives like Rafa or someone who comes in from behind a clear one-on-one shot, right?
Yeah,
so,
the thing is,
which he's very good at too.
The defender in the middle, I think, was I want to say it was with Rafa. So if he closes Chiro down, Chiro can lay it off for Rafa, and Rafa has a really good opportunity there. So it's a hard one. Yeah, you can talk me into it.
Anyway, I'll do some comments.
Last man, so if it's the last man, you should apply the rule book, man. I understand what you're saying, Can, but like,
yeah, but the last man, it needs to be Baris goal chance. It needs to be a clear-cut goal-scoring opportunity, and I don't think it's a clear-cut goal-scoring opportunity because he's not alone with the keeper. So
yeah, but you could argue if he makes it if he runs diagonal with the ball, he would be.
Maybe. I haven't seen it back. I have to watch it back, and we're of course like right after the game right now. I have to watch it back. Maybe I changed my mind.
The emotions are all still raw. I was almost swearing at Semi on live stream, just like I was during the match.
Let's get to these comments.
So we started off with Mario Vargas, which, peace out. What's going on, bro? Got the Knicks tonight at least. That'll be a tough one. He says, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty damn upset. Damn, man. Carlito, good evening. Group session, yes, that's what we're all here for. We're all here with commiserations to everyone, except for one person in the group chat over here today. This gentleman here, Jordi Yamali, you should sell him to Benfica. I think it's like Mucci, because Mario said that one Mucci goal was cold. We should probably talk about that Mucci goal real quick.
Let's sell him, man. I'm all for it. We can buy
Although I'm scared.
We can maybe buy a winger for them. Then we can actually have a winger.
Yeah.
What if he goes to? He'll take Kerem Aktürkoğlu's spot, right? I don't know. I guess Kerem's gonna go for like 30 mil.
We'll exchange him.
Kerem. Oh, there you go. Except I think Kerem will go for like 35 mil.
Maybe it's a good thing Mucci scored that screamer though, because it might actually, if there's some clubs out there who only watch highlights.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Buffing the highlight reel at the very least. Anyway, look at that stunner. They put like a beat drop. It's like the shot, the slow mo.
Like Quaresma's goal against Fener, they can like.
Yeah, exactly.
Mario. We've got a Galatasaray fan amongst us here, by the way.
It's Khan's friend. He's aware. I think I'll let Khan do the back and forth.
Yeah, I'm shocked out.
That's good. That's good for our viewership numbers, man. For the ratings.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Don't
Hold
for-
on.
Don't forget to give us a like.
Yeah, subscribe, like, and subscribe to the one club who has an English language podcast. Anyway, one Turkish club, I should say. Semi wasn't. Mario. Semi wasn't the only one with hesitation. Masuaku takes forever to pass, make a play.
Yeah.
I like I said, I wasn't impressed with his
But also,
output today.
do you guys like feel like it's so useless to like Masuaku puts in so many crosses, and I don't just mean today. I just mean in general. And we're not a team that scores goals off of crosses.
Yeah.
So what's the
I mean,
point
I
of
like-
that, right?
I like that he was trying to do those low crosses for a moment today, and I thought, that could be more effective. You could create a little chaos with that, but
Yeah.
for the most part, yeah, his crosses are just never what we need.
We
at the
don't.
very
That's
least.
not the type of football we need to play. It's pointless.
Mm-hmm.
If we have like a proper tall man striker who's good with his head, then yeah, sure. But like that's not Chiro's type.
exactly.
Chiro's somebody you have to play. You have to like reach him in his feet.
Mm-hmm.
Rafa same way. Yeah,
Agreed,
I think Masuaku is not a good fit for this team, style wise. Even if he plays
Yeah,
well.
I mean, at his best when he can get the ball and carry it into the midfield and then kind of distribute it on the ground, right? That's when he's doing well, but
Yeah.
he reverts far too often to this sort of hero ball, where
I
he just
feel
takes
like
it wide and tries to do this
it's
terrible
like
crosses.
it's like a Congolese Janek Erkin sometimes,
Yeah, exactly.
But
exactly.
less good crosses, I want to say, because I think Janek had got better crosses.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
Yeah, he's probably better in every other statistic, but
yeah.
his crosses aren't as good.
I think put Masuaku in a team that has a lot of aerial threats in the box
Mm-hmm.
like that. I think that it is a much better fit. I don't even it's not even a knock on him. I just don't think it fits us well. I think we need a different style of wingback on the left.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Totally agreed.
That's a great point because he does spam the square button too often.
Yeah, he does, man.
Absolutely. And he doesn't do the double tap. At least keep it on the ground, sucker. Okay, anyway.
That was a good one, Cena.
Isn't double tap like boot height or something, and triple
No,
tap
that's
is
the low cross. The low cross.
Maybe I'm thinking of Pro Evolution Soccer then, because I'm pretty sure like low cross was triple tap. 'Cause
Anyway,
people in the comments.
I'm not gonna debate this.
If
with you,
Jordi's
Tom.
still
No, I'm
watching,
kidding.
I'm 100% sure he used to play PES. Triple tap, right? For low cross.
Anyway, Umer Gunal, welcome back to the group chat, my friend. He says, I'm glad that we're watching a team like this where we can say we should have won today instead of saying I'm glad we didn't concede 3+ goals. Yes, and actually, if you're listening to our friend Aurelian, who said, oh, now they're going to come score the third goal, a little middle finger to you, my little French friend. I don't. It looks like you were wrong about that.
I-
You little negative.
Yeah, I thought the same thing for like a flash, and then I was like, they don't have it in them. And even
No,
like after
no.
like this is one. I think this is also like a kind of a compliment to us. If you've watched Galatasaray this season, you've watched them off in the league. I'm not in Europe, but like in the league, like at home, usually like their opening half hour is like a whirlwind. And they score first and they go bam, bam, bam. They score 2, they score 3. And I don't think they had it in them today. They scored that first goal and it was like they didn't have that. Yeah, they couldn't press us back and couldn't exploit us enough. Maybe that was a tactical decision. I don't think so though, because having watched them a fair amount this season, I do think that is to a certain extent at least our own. I should put it.
I want to give out a massive shout out to Cher and Dur, actually, particularly for the first half. He was giving them no room in the back of our midfield, or the back of of our midfield, right? For them to do when they're doing those little slick things. You see it sometimes in Europe against the smaller sides, or obviously against Anadolu's side, where they do that little slick like triangle thing, and they have that like dink it in and give someone those little easy chances.
They were smart.
None of that.
They knew. I think they knew they were going to lose the midfield battle for the most part, and I think they were smart to press us really high, so we were forced to play the long ball a lot because they could win that. They could win those duels at the back with their physical prowess and allow them to skip the midfield for the most part because Torreira and Sara weren't all that involved throughout the game, I think. But that was also their own, I think, by design on their part, because they knew they were going to lose that midfield battle. And I think if we would have some skillful wingers, could have been we would have been able to hurt them a lot more. But we've been saying this all season. We don't have
That's
wingers.
literally the story. That's like the subtext of the whole season. Anyway.
Wingers.
More comments, and here's where things get spicy for as far as our reactions, I suppose. Yordi Yamali says, "I have to warn you that this idea that you have the upper hand in the game always sticks to Gio's teams. I find it a refreshing, objective analysis, but repeating that you are equal or better, what has been created beyond the halfway line? I have not seen any of that. Good play is around the opponent's box in my eye.
That is true. That's not wrong. But that's the same is true for Galatasaray. Again.
And I think, but the 21 fouls that were committed and the number that weren't called, I think attests to what you folks had to resort to in order to prevent us from creating chances.
That's their prerogative, though, right? Like,
of course, but like that's where the ref could, officiate
but at the end
better.
of the day,
but then also. On our end too, and as I said this, there were some frustrating lack of precision on passes in the midfield that hurt us. I thought, and
I thought the midfield was even fine. I just thought it was the last pass. Those, like, we were actually we quite slickly got the ball on the wing a few times, and I think it fell to Jetson twice, and it was that way where we had them maybe like in a 3v2 situation and a 2v3 situation, and if that last pass was right. Because they're running back. If the last pass is right, you can send that player through on goal.
There's a few times I think Sanchez was extremely crucial with a really well-read interception and Muslera too, by the way. A couple of times he came out.
Oh yeah, he
brilliantly. That's
which we should probably talk about, man. What the hell? Like, this guy was injured. What? How does he come back from the dead?
What? No, injured?
Wasn't he injured?
No, he was suspended. Because he got a red card against Young Boys, so he was suspended in the Europa League games.
I thought he was hurt again.
Do you guys know what I'm talking about, though, when I'm talking about these situations? It's like... we've got the ball on the wing, and we've got a runner. So if Jetson, I think
was off in the runner.
Jetson got it twice. If he was able to find the runner, we would have had 100% scoring opportunities because we were catching them against the run of play with quick transitions. But it was just that last pass from way back into the middle that was missing. If we got that pass, like, we would have been a lot more dangerous. But it was like 3 times that happened in the first half. It was 2 or 3 times, and we weren't able to capitalise on them at all. So that's what's talking. Like, the first couple of passes opened them right up, but just that last pass to complete the play and create the chance was missing, I felt.
Yeah, I mean, lack of quality in general, though, right? Like,
do you guys remember what I'm talking about, though? Can you think back to those?
There's a few moments, maybe. I can think of, but yeah, there's also a few moments where, like early in the game, I think, and this also props to Yunus. There's a moment where Jetson tries to play it past him, and Yunus does really well to defend it. And there's a couple of moments like that. I don't want to say that Yunus had a fantastic game or anything, but he won a couple of really crucial duels like that one-on-one, which also stopped us in our tracks. And kudos to him, man, because I think he's come from a very difficult situation where he was almost... he was surplus, he was sent out on loan to Leicester, he was an afterthought. Kerem leaves,
he's had a great
and now he's
too,
exploded, and he's having a great season for sure. Yeah, so kudos to him. Did not deserve to go to the Euros, but he deserves to be on the national team now.
Yeah, he's certainly earned that call up. Continuing on, we've got Volkan Pilavci, who says, it's hard to score if the opponent won't let you come close to their goal by fouling every time. That's what I said. He already says, that's also a frustration of mine with Okan ball, especially now that we play with 2 strikers. Then an opponent of the caliber of Beşiktaş naturally has the ball in the build-up.
Yeah.
Which is, I thought you said we... Anyway, Umer Gunal says, BAY should have been sent off, and I am not talking about debatable fouls. He should have easily gotten a second yellow. Maybe that was Khan when you asked what they thought about the card situation.
Yeah, but I think talking about 2 yellow cards like that is... it's always so double, man. Because you can tally it up, and he's like, oh yeah, you should have had yellow here, should have had yellow there, should have had yellow there. But if a player is on a yellow, they most of the time, not always, of course. Some players are idiots. I don't like that train of thought, man. I think you can debate whether, a position is a red card, yes or no, and then you can say, okay, he should have been sent off or he shouldn't. But if you start tallying like all these positions where he maybe should have had a yellow card, I don't really, I'm a big fan of that.
Well, I will say though, Con, that for that very reason, if a lot of these guys were playing with yellow cards, then they're going to be playing more restrained, right? Like a lot of the things that they're doing very well against us, maybe they have to do less of. So anyway, that's just a counterpoint. That's all
I think the referee, and I think rightfully so, a referee in a derby, you should let a little bit more go. You shouldn't start pulling cards like a crazy man. Like look at Lyon, the Lyon game when we scored. Suddenly the referee started pulling yellow for everything. Like that's also frustrating. So I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan of that. I mean, a yellow is a yellow, of course, but like,
yeah. Continuing with the comments, Volkan Pilavti says, before the second goal, Icardi steals the foul. VAY makes the same foul on Rafa, but the referee didn't give that, and he did give it to Icardi.
Yeah.
Also, Beşiktaş lacks speed in the front line. If we had quicker players, we could have hurt them much more. Sanchez won every sprint and was quicker than our attackers. That's true. That was frustrating to watch. I mean, just generally, Davinson's physicality and his
quality,
athleticism.
I do definitely think that on the wings we like that. But yeah, and I agree with the. I think Barış Alper fault Rafa right before the free kick, but you can't do anything about that.
Do you guys think when Davinson at the start of the game kind of hit Chiro in the stomach, do you guys think that should have been a yellow card? Or do you think that was fair not to give a card for that?
I don't even remember it.
There's a lot of stuff coming up now, on social media that I wish I had the ability to review and take a look at. But
I mean,
people always do that, man. Like,
kind of thought maybe it'd be a bit harsh, but thinking back, man, he definitely does deliberately. Because I do remember the play when it happened, but looking back, man, he does deliberately kind of hit him. I think it's a yellow card. I don't know, man. But the referee mistakes, the page says it's a yellow card.
Yeah, maybe. It can be a yellow card. I'm not saying it's not, but I think if you're gonna tally up all those positions, like a referee is not gonna see everything. That's not how football games are won, right? Like afterwards, tallying it up. Yeah, what does it buy you? Ref sees it or he doesn't. Move on.
Moving on.
It's different with a position where VAR can intervene, of course, right? That's different. If there's a clear situation where VAR has to come in and it doesn't, I think you should always talk about that. But the yellow cards.
Well, Con, you say move on, but so our next comment, there was no foul before the first goal of Galatasaray. I knew and wrote that Galatasaray had been in preparation for headers. I bet the ref knew that tactic and called 2 fouls to Galatasaray near our box for headers. There's more ref talk.
Before the first goal, Simi is being a dumbass. Like, was that? Do you guys think that wasn't a foul?
Well, Simi on Icardi? I thought it was definitely.
Yeah.
He was definitely being a dumbass.
This is just dumb defending by Simi. Like,
don't fucking remind me of that, man.
Don't give if you know a team is good on set pieces, don't give them free kicks around the box.
And we had a fucking warning just 5 minutes
exactly.
before.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Just had you were just warned on a corner kick.
Yeah.
With a clear-cut heading opportunity for Osimhen. Don't be giving away silly free kicks like that. If you have to give a free kick away, give a free kick away. But these are not positions where you have to make a stupid foul with the guy turned with his back towards goal. Like, just close him down. Yeah.
Look at this fuck, man. Like,
it's done.
He's going nowhere. That guy's going nowhere with that fucking ball. You know what I mean? It's not as if it's like a Saint Maximin or whatever that's going to dribble past and
Yeah.
run down fucking Icardi.
It's Icardi. He's 50 meters or 40 or I don't know, 35, 40 meters removed from goal.
You just see if you probably
Chill.
if you defend them properly, you might even get a fucking throw in. You know what I mean? But instead, you foul them and you just give them.
You know, you also know with Icardi, he's looking for the fall. So don't give him an excuse to go down. That's just
that's probably the most important point.
Bad defending.
Yeah, Semi really fucked us twice, man. Right, that's the start of that game. Like he was.
If you include the miss, yeah.
If I was to point the finger at one person for this result, it'd be him.
Don't do that. Let's not do that.
You don't have to do that.
He's at the end of the day, 19-year-old kid. You know, he needs his experience. The only way he's gonna get better is by making mistakes, right?
And in the same way that, like, we were saying everyone kind of was decent. You could also make the argument that nobody was like spectacular enough to kind of bring us past the line.
I don't think that Simi played his worst game, because I do think he had a couple of good moments in the second half where he dribbled past.
Yeah, he got into the game.
He wasn't good, but I think like a 5.5. He wasn't flunked. It's not like he put in a 4 out of 10 performance. I think he gave like a 5.5, 6 performance.
Yeah, I was gonna say a 6, maybe. But so here's where things get a little testy in the group chat and probably here. Yordi goes, you know what concept would be really mind-blowing in Turkey? Referees are bad for everyone. And I will say that, Khan, you have some statistical analysis to talk about how bad referees are for everyone, in quotes. It would also be a great concept if Galatasaray were a big enough club that they also had an English language podcast. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. A little banter.
I don't think we lost this game because of the referee. I think
it's just one aspect.
I think that's cheap. Because we
should have won it. How about this? We should have won it regardless, despite the referee.
No, I think we didn't do enough on the day, and we conceded 2 goals on set pieces, and that leaves a sour taste because Galatasaray didn't outplay us. I don't feel like Galatasaray earned to win, like they were good enough on the day. So that leaves a sour taste. It leaves a sour aftertaste. Yeah. But at the end of the day as well, like look, these stats, they don't lie. Okay, you can argue the semi position in minute 4 is a big chance that isn't counted. And like the Joao Mario position is a big chance. And then they had a couple of really crucial interceptions or whatever you want to call them at the last moment. But that is they earned that. Davinson Sanchez made that challenge. Muslera spotted that run and came out on time. They earned those interceptions. So that is good defending on their part. We had, the Joao Mario and the semi position, I think we should have done more with those 2 positions. But at the end of the day, we did not create enough chances, and we didn't have enough quality on the day to win the game. I don't want to blame the referee. I think sometimes you can lose a game because of a ref. I don't think today was that day. As for the ref being bad for everyone, yeah, of course, referees have bad games for everyone, but there's no doubt in my mind that over the last couple of years, like if you look last season, like it was a little gross to say the least. How many calls both Fener and Galatasaray got, and of course we were playing no role of significance at all, and that wasn't because of the referees, but I mean. I think there's this. You have this in almost every league in the world where big clubs tend to get very favorable calls. And I think that in Turkey, Fenerbahce and Galatasaray definitely tend to get more favorable calls than others. I do not think today was a day like that necessarily. Maybe the second free kick right before. With the second goal right before there, I think you could have easily given us a free kick for a perceived fall on Rafa. I think Kartal, you said that Svensson was holding him. From what I saw from in the live feed, I didn't think it was a fall. But if you say it was a fall, then it was a fall. So yeah, defend better on set pieces then.
Yeah,
Ref doesn't head
Be
it
more
in.
careful about giving them away when you know that's your opponent's like strongest point.
Exactly. If you know that's one of their biggest weapons, don't give away silly free kicks.
I feel like Svensson didn't have to hold a card there either. Again, he's got his
No.
boom.
No.
Don't need to do that.
No. Don't.
Con,
again,
you're not gonna like the rest of these comments because so basically, so Jay goes in 13 minutes. The ref called 2 silly fouls near our penalty zone for Galatasaray to use free kicks for header chances. It was a tactic, and I bet ref is informed about Okan's tactic before the game.
I think that's bullshit. I think
He says this is not a game you can talk about without talking about refs' whistles. Arda Kardashley is a Galatasaray fan. 70% of refs are Galatasaray fans.
That tinfoil hat stuff there, man.
I
Umar
think,
Gunal-
yeah, I think that's too much, man. Like, were they like you? It's not like they dived, right? Like, yeah, okay, maybe they go down easy, and yeah, obviously Icardi wants to win the free kick, but don't give the referee an excuse to give them then.
Yeah.
It's that simple. I think if you're going to think, oh well, the ref was in on it, like that, I think that's very tinfoil hat area for sure. I'm sorry. I don't agree with you, Yit. I'm sorry, bro. I think that's too much.
Continuing. So Umar says, don't give shoutouts to Share, that will increase his price. That's true. Carlito says, even Gio commenting on not sending off players. Welcome to the Super League, Gio. Umar Gunnar, live announcement happening right now. Finnish Kebab says, the cat in the background looks pissed about the defeat. He just jumped down because he was indeed pissed. He was watching the whole game with me. It was kind of funny. Honestly, I hate talking about ref after, says Umer now. I hate talking about the ref after a loss, but we got absolutely fucking butchered tonight. Yigiche says, Beşiktaş was better. No player can be criticized in Beşiktaş. Turkish league is a systematic match-fixing league. It's bullshit to you because you have no idea about Turkish football's dark side.
Who's he
Carlito
talking
says,
to?
I'm assuming you. Carlito says, no, it was our lack of... He says it was our lack of marking and defending properly, is what Carlito said. And yeah, I think that's probably accurate. Certainly on set pieces.
I have seen my fair share of screw jobs. This wasn't one. Maybe the referee was 55-45. That's normal. that happens when you're playing away. I think if it's the other way around, maybe not. But yeah, I think if we play at home, it's a different situation as well. I think that's very. There have been some screw jobs over the years. Jem Papila back in 2004. It was a proper screw job. What was his name? Ali Palabiyuk a couple of times. Bülent Yıldırım. There's been screw jobs, but where referees were clearly favoring a side. I don't think that's the case today, guys. You may not like his performance tonight, but I think that's putting your head in the sand to our own shortcomings. To correct me, guys, if I'm wrong, if you think I'm wrong, tell me. I don't know. You see that, and you feel like you're like hesitant there, like you're. I don't know.
Look, I will. My only thing is that I think what stood out for me was Davinson committing what I thought were clear yellow card fouls.
Yeah, maybe.
And just that he was such an obvious strength of theirs. I would have loved if he'd had to play more cautiously. Is all I'm saying.
I understand.
For much of the match.
I understand that, but there's a big difference between that and then going to this was a.
Oh, this total ref screw
yeah,
up.
like
No. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I'm of two minds on the matter anyway. My policy is to never allow the ref to be the story, because that's basically what they typically want. And it's like, look, ideally you have 11 players on both sides playing a match of football, and there's no fuckery at all. That's what you want. And to see the two sides square off, it was a good match. I think we could learn a lot from it. We didn't create enough chances. This has been a persistent issue to some extent, right? We've talked about the lack of clinical finishing, not taking enough chances, being too picky with it, maybe trying to pass it into the back of the goal, right? Like it's been recurring to some extent.
Actually, something we talked about this last episode, because we had a comment that said that our chance creation was too low or something like that. And I looked at it at that time, and we were like number 2 in the league in XG. But what I forgot at the time was Galatasaray has a game played more than us. So really, we were like number 1 in the league XG wise, or close to it at least. So I don't.
The chance creation was far from good enough, but.
Yeah, but I mean, I think on average, like obviously today is an exception, but we still create at least 3-4 big chances per game.
Yeah,
I
know, bro. I agree. Our chance creation has been one of our strong points this season, but unfortunately today, I think we fell short, man. In that regard.
Yeah, we did. I think we did. I did.
So
did they, in my opinion. I don't think they created much of anything.
Yeah, I agree with that too. No, and I mean, what's frustrating is that Davinson Sanchez is almost single-handedly responsible for cutting out like three-quarters of our attack.
If this match would have ended 1-0, my title for the game or for the podcast episode would have been something along the lines of Beşiktaş thwarted single-handedly by Davinson Sanchez or something, because he was that good. I thought he was phenomenal. I also should mention, by the way, guys, look, they don't need to create 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 chances because they scored. 13 minutes in, they scored a goal. So you can argue, it kind of felt like that derby, the 1-0 at home last season, the loss. They scored on an own goal after 30 seconds, and they didn't create shit all game. And then afterwards, you're like, oh, but they didn't create shit. Yeah, but they already scored, so... I would like to think that at home you would create a little bit more, and I think the difference between us and Galatasaray is very small right now, and I think that in itself should be a compliment.
Yeah, and there's one key thing you missed out there. Like, we are missing 4 stars: Mart, Rashika, Al Musrati,
Gabriel Paulista.
Yeah. Gabriel Paulista, the most important one, perhaps. That's Paulista, Mart, Musrati, Rashika. 4 stars we're missing.
Yeah.
Maybe 4 players we're playing, we win this game.
Maybe.
Rashika.
I still think we could win this game. Like I said, like 4 out of 10 times we could probably win this game if we play it.
I don't think
exactly
so.
This way.
I think this is a game 6 times out of 10 it ends in a draw. Because
maybe.
There was too little quality from either side, I felt.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know though. I do feel like we kind of, except for the set pieces, which is I don't know if that's an oversight or if it's just a case of like what can you do,
I think if a team is really good on set pieces, there's only so much you can do. I don't know. Outscore them from open play, right? But I
don't
think
commit any fouls.
We should, don't give away silly free kicks.
But you're going to though. On the other hand, right? Like in a way, you can't even be too harsh about that because like it's so hard. You're never gonna play football and not commit fouls.
No, of course, but
throughout the entire match in that because it's a pretty large area where they're dangerous, right? Like
unfortunately. But then both free kicks on which they score were silly to give away. We gave away a couple of, like, this always happens, but you give away corners too easily. You give away free kicks too easily. Some teams, you can see, they do everything to prevent the corner. And that's not us. And I think, we're too sloppy, maybe immature in some ways. Some players for sure. Like, I mean, Semi, look, he's 19 years old. I expect more from Svensson though. Like, he's 31, he should know better than to give a free kick away in that position. Especially at that point in the match as well. We were really knocking on the door. We were growing. We were pushing them back. The momentum was on our side. Then he gives away that free kick. They score on it, and like at 2-0, the game was over. Whereas if that game stays 1-0 much longer, I think we get it. I think we get at least a point. Because that goal was loading, man. It was coming. You could feel it.
Yeah. And look, I mean, let's change the vibe for a moment here. I want us to focus on some positives, if we can, before we get back to the chat. Look, this was a rebuild, right? Like, it's so important to remember And I feel like we keep harping, it's like we're flogging a dead horse right now. But this is we're ahead on the rebuild. The fact that we're competitive with Galatasaray, the fact that we're talking about like, did we deserve this? You know, this in theory, right? You go back a few months, this shouldn't have been possible. So this is all good, and I think you look at this match and you think, you know, at home, you know, second half of the season, we can get these 3 points back. There's nothing we saw today. There's not one point that I think you look at this.
I feel quite confident that we can beat these guys at home, because I think I think with our fans behind us, maybe with a winger, maybe two, at least, you know, maybe a new left wing back, a good winger, maybe less injuries going into the game, maybe no suspension. You know, I mean, all of that plays a part, but I think there is nothing that I saw today from Galatasaray that makes me think we are not going to beat. I think we're going to beat them in the home game.
I think so too, man. Especially with a couple of additions and injured players. Hopefully, if we go into that game injury free and with a winger and a new winger on the left back, I think why not, man? Like, I think, as I said at the start of the show, we played the more attractive and the better football. Our players combined better. It was just that last ball was lacking. If you get a very good winger, they can play that last ball.
And you never know, that wonder goal from Mucci might come up being very important. You never know. If we finish on equal points again and we beat them 2-0 at home, then you have the head-to-head. So you never know, man. Let's move on with those comments, Sina.
Okay. Where were we? I think we talked about the cat. We did the dark side bit already. Cheetah defending Osimhen was a bad call. Cher not marking anyone. Rookie numbers up that to 75-25. So a lot of these are sort of based in the conversation we were having at those moments. So it's Yiche says, Khan, tell me what action was the foul before the foul called by the ref in the first goal. Beşiktaş player hit or pushed, pulled, or else. No.
I don't understand what he means.
That's no move there to be considered a foul. Umer says, if this was a Europa League game, Galatasaray had 2 reds tonight. We won't get anywhere when Galatasaray is protected like this. He says, Umer follows that up with, Yeet, why are you so angry? And yeah, look, another thing, like, in private, we're all going to rip on the refs a lot, and there's so much to say, but we don't really want to like overemphasize that on our podcast either, because at the end of the day, like we could talk about the refs every episode, and that could just be like the referee podcast, you know. But at the end, like, we want to do as much analytical work as we can here. We want to talk about what we want to talk about tangible things that we can actually critique,
if it's really
and improve on or fix or not
course,
fix.
But I think you're overreaching a little bit on like, I think, you know, what Semi did was dumb. Is it a lot? No, but it's a free kick because you're stupid. Yeah.
See, there's a very important thing though, and Giovanni's touched on it in his press conference.
Let's get to it. Let's do the comments, Catal, and then we'll get to the press conference. Okay?
Yes, it's very important though, man.
Okay.
So, see, we're thinking, how is Osimhen so open for that second goal? It's because the referee blew the whistle for them to use a free kick while Aston was still arranging the wall.
Really?
Yep. And there's a video of it that shows it as well.
Okay. That's
Giovanni Van Bronckhorst touched on it on his press conference, so that's huge, man. To show that fucked.
That's pretty bad, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to send you guys in fact, it was Jan sent the video in, but Giovanni also touched on it.
Yeah, don't show it though, because we'll get
I'm not going to.
Yeah, we'll get struck.
Okay.
Struck down.
Well, okay. Well, the thing is though, if I'm not mistaken, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the rule is the attacking team needs to indicate they want the wall put on 9 meters and 15 centimeters. I could be mistaken, but I think the attacking team has to indicate that Otherwise, they are allowed to take the free kick quick. I think. I remember being very upset about a goal Oljai scored in like 2015 because he took a free kick quickly and the ref gave him a yellow card. And maybe the rule has changed since then, or I'm misremembering it, but yeah,
because look, all that I will say is I remember seeing Victor Osimhen like a head and shoulder above Felix Urukai and being like, I don't recall him like not having any ups. You know, I don't know how he had that sort of an advantage, but it would make sense that he had. You know, if Felix was literally just late,
I mean, look,
they were still setting up.
I think
that would explain it.
Yeah, no, I think if Ersin was still arranging the wall and stuff like that, that's pretty scummy from the ref then. Regardless of whether they indicated or not, I think but yeah. All right, let's move on.
Especially at a moment like that, right? At a moment like that, in a game like this, like
that's game changing. That is game changing. Let's continue.
I hate that stuff,
let's
man.
continue
Like, why
with
do we
these
have to have
comments.
this kind of garbage, man?
That's
Anyway.
Enjoy my haggis. The grapes, bro. Not happy.
That's like ethnic banter now. We're making
Haggis?
fun of these Scots.
Who's enjoying the haggis?
I mean grapes, bro.
The Scot over here. Who else? Scotchman. No, where are we with these comments?
Oh, the
can't wait
comment
for
from
in Turkey. I'm about to cut you off, Yiche, and it's no offense, but like we can't just.
Oh, you can read this comment, but if it's something we've already talked about 3 times, we're not going to continue.
Yeah, so your minds work too clean. You have no idea about the Turkish refs. I've been watching 35 years. I bet that ref would call fouls. So glad that I scored. Umar says, I can't wait for the home game between the fans. We'll be super. By the way, the fans will be super fired up for it. Hell yeah. And that's why I think we'll have a huge advantage in that game. And just, we're playing great football, and it's only going to get better as we get healthier, B, fill out the roster a little bit more with another transfer window. I mean, we have only positives to look forward to, I would suggest, to anyone who's like, if anyone's thinking about jumping, I want to take you off the ledge.
I think
it's all good going forward, man.
Two good transfers in January, 2 really good transfers in January could really change a lot for us. I mean, at the end of the day, if we win our game next week against Kasımpaşa, which is not a guarantee, of course, we're 5 points back. If we maybe Galatasaray drop points between now and then. At the end of the day, look, guys, losing an away derby against Galatasaray, that's not the end of the world. We can get our win back. The big difference is going to be made in those other matches.
And the key is that we didn't lose it in a way that was demoralizing.
No, exactly. Yeah, for sure. I definitely think the team can take positives away. We didn't get outplayed, but we have to rebound. And on next week against Kasımpaşa, we have to win that game. No excuses. Also, keep in mind, Galatasaray. What was their last game? I think did they play away against Antalya? They might have. But now, so they had us at home now. Now they have Samsun at home next game. But in the second half of the season, they're going to go into a stretch of matches where they have to go to Beşiktaş, they have to go to Samsun back to back. They're gonna have Göztepe away, so we have to play that also, of course. Let's not forget. But there's, they are gonna drop points, probably, unless they're gonna repeat last season. But if we win our game in hand now, it's 5 points. It's not the end of the world, and we are still in a very positive flow, I think. The Lyon game will give us confidence. We'll hopefully sign a couple of good players in January to strengthen our team. We've got players coming back. Musrati is coming back. Rasicka is coming back. Paulista is coming back. No man overboard.
Yeah, I really...
Did Kartal go to get his haggis?
Maybe so, yeah. I think it's so easy to be negative after losing... anytime you lose, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, it's painful. You don't want to lose these derby matches, but I think every fan knows if you go into an away derby, the chances of losing is 60%. At least, I think. I think that's the harsh truth, because they have their fans behind them. The referee is always going to be a little bit more, lenient towards the home side. That is just normal human nature. And if you want to win an away derby, you have to be really, really fucking good. And we weren't really, really fucking good today. I think we were decent. We weren't bad. We were decent. We weren't good enough. Probably we should have. I think we deserve a point here tonight, but you don't get anything for deserving. You only get it for scoring goals, and we only scored one, and in garbage time.
Yeah. I mean, and we're not ignoring your comments. It's just we've already sort of beat that thing to death. And look, I mean, anytime you're again on the road in a derby, and frankly, like anytime you're playing Galatasaray, you have to both beat your opposition and you have to beat the refs. It's just it comes with the territory. You say you've been watching for 34 years. You know this, right? Like
yeah, you should.
You have to win.
Yeah, if you've been,
you have to win so definitively that the refs can't engage in any fuckery. Like, and if you don't do that,
look the last couple of games we won against Fenerbahce away. Like, you're never gonna get help. Like, you need to do it on your own. And I mean, look, if they would have gotten like 2 really cheap penalties or something like that, and you were this upset, then I would understand. And look, okay, what Cartel just told us about the free kick, that's a scandal in its own. But at the end of the day, like, they're free kicks, you can still defend them. Okay, the second one, if he took it early or whatever, that sucks. But like, I think you're a little exaggerating, and we're not ignoring your comments yet, but what do you want us to say? Like, oh yeah, you're right, we lost because of the ref. If we're just gonna say we lost because of the ref, like, we're never gonna get any better either. Like, we have to also highlight our own shortcomings today. Our wing play was terrible, Semi wasn't good, and just in general, I think we didn't do enough. We should be doing more. But it's an away derby. Like, these are very difficult games. As long as we get our win back at home, I think it's fine. But we need to make sure that we limit the amounts of times we drop points in those other matches.
And Galatasaray is going to drop some points, man. They're going to drop points eventually. You know it's coming.
Hopefully.
You gotta wait. You gotta wait for it.
I hope Samsung away, man. I'm confident they'll lose points there.
Yeah, but that's still a long way to go. And they have Samsung. I think they are very fortunate right now with their schedule. Their schedule has been very favorable. They've played a lot of home games already. I think they've played 9 games now, or was this their 10th game? This was probably their 10th game. And they probably they've played like 7 home matches or something, I think, or 6 or like at least the next game will be like at least their 7th. So like they are going to come at a point next in 2025 where they're going to go through a period where they have more away games than home games, and maybe we have to hope that they drop points in those matches.
Few more comments here before we I don't know if we wrap it up or what we do next, but we have some non-ref stuff here, I believe. I can't wait for the home game. We did that. Wasn't fixed. Carlito, and to be honest, you cannot solve this in a game. You need to create chances and score, as simple as that. Or as Cruyff put it, just score more than the other team. Score 1 more than the other team. If ref stuff. Sorry, Umer. It's all good. Then the Haggis thing. He says he's going to hate watch every single Galatasaray game this year. Every single goal scored against them will add 1 more year to his lifespan. I think that's going to be all of us, basically, waiting for them to drop that point. Carlito says Haggis is better than Kokoric. Cartel, your take on that? You're an expert. You know both.
I agree. I don't like Kokoric, so yeah, I agree.
I would say that neither. You know the both meme, but
I've had neither. I do want to say on that. I think it's fine to watch Galatasaray, but I think it's very important for everyone's mental well-being to focus on our matches. Don't be too obsessed with what the other two do. See where we are come week 29, 28. If we're in a good position or not. I think we just need to look at ourselves. At the end of the day, we're coming off of a season where we were like 50 odd points behind, and we're doing well in the rebuild. But yeah, obviously you can't fix everything over one transfer window.
Umer Gunal says, I want to know what Saleh did. Did he spit in Giovanni Van Bronckhorst's food or something? He's not considered over Onur Bulut. I would say, I mean, different positions, right? I think Sharon Dur has been great. He probably could have used the sub. I would have probably brought in Al-Musrati personally. The problem with the Onur Bulut stuff is, like, I fully agree he should probably never play again in our kit, but we don't have another right back, right? Like, if you want to stop out Jonas Svensson, who else you can play? And frankly, even I've been like, why would you put him as a backup winger? And it's like, oh, because you look at the back of the bench, it's like, oh, because literally nobody else.
It's a few times now this season that he's taken off Svensson and put Onur on, and I don't know what the logic is behind that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, my only assumption is that maybe Onur is like balling out in training. There's stuff we don't see, I guess. But yeah,
he's apparently the funniest
like,
guy in the dressing room, supposedly. Maybe.
According to
according to a couple of people. So maybe that earns him. I don't know why he keeps getting minutes, man. I've been wondering the same thing. I think against Lyon he came on as a winger. Today he came on as a right back, but it's like. Yeah, for me, as soon as Onur comes in and you're not in a winning position, I kind of feel like it's throwing in the towel. Oh well.
Yeah.
Oh well. Any more
but
comments?
I will say in both his and Tayyip Talha's defense that they both came in today, and I was like, here, I guess that's it. We're just resting. We're like moving on to the next game. But neither one did a single thing wrong. Onur even kind of came in and made a pretty decent interception, I think, at one point. Like, when they don't mess up, I feel like I should, because I crap on them so much. Not them, I should say. I crap on Onur so much that I should probably at least mention when he doesn't do anything wrong.
It definitely also highlights the lack of options we have on the bench right now. But there's not, I don't think you can fault many people for that. Like, I think that the club did a good job in the transfer window in the summer, and like, you can. Of course, it's not perfect, but we don't have a 100 million euro budget, to splash in the summer and to buy an entire team together. And you just have to accept that that's a process that's going to take 2-3 windows probably to build a complete team.
Especially when you talk about the depth and the sort of fringes,
and we don't have anyone in the academy right now that's really standing out to fill in those gaps, unfortunately. So.
And again, clearly, right? If Rashica's healthy, we wouldn't have seen Onur Bulut in those first like 3 match appearances. Maybe. And frankly, he might have even come in as a backup right wing back too. Anyway, this was so first. I guess Umer says, I think we win this game if we didn't have that tiring Lyon game a few days ago. The key players are old and it takes them longer to recover. We can clearly see that. Plus, again, right? Gabriel Paulista. I mean, there are guys just missing that.
I did not. Did you guys have the sense that today was like we came up short fitness wise? Because like I really felt like we physically, obviously, not counting Davinson Sanchez, but I think other than that, I think we physically dominated the game for the most part. So
if anything, for me, see that Lyon game proved that our team's very, very fit, man.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Improved that.
Yeah, I mean, Cher looked a little tired, but he's younger. He's not one of the older guys, so that would go
against Antep. I think we had a stretch.
Oh yeah, Immobile was tired, but you know how that goes. Umer. Like, imagine we brought on like Mustafa Hekimoğlu in this match. They would have torched Gio. So.
And like I think against Antep, we had a stretch of 4 matches in 11 days with a lot of airplane trips. So I think it's understandable that the team was fatigued then. Like, I think that is understandable. And I don't think that you can fault anyone for that. I think we are, in this league, the fittest team easily. I think today I don't think we lost this game because of lack of fitness. Maybe if we don't play that Lyon game on Thursday, maybe it's not really fitness, it's more sharpness and you're a little sharper perhaps. Maybe Umer's right, but... Of course, I said this before, and details really decide matches, and maybe then it could have given us a little bit of an edge, but that's a lot of ifs,
See, without it's really annoying me now, man. See that those 2 points lost against Antep. It's really annoying me now, man.
You've been flogging that dead horse for a while.
I feel like I've heard you say that like 7 times in the last week.
See if we drew a 1 today, it would have been completely forgiven. But see, now we've lost. It just makes it even more annoying.
It's all right, dude. Don't worry. We'll get him back. We'll get him back. They'll drop some points stupidly at some point, and hopefully we won't do it the next time.
In the ISREN, man, that's fine, but those were 2 points we should have fucking had, man. Like, conceded in the last.
Yeah, of course. Look, any points we drop are. I mean, you could probably even say against Galatasaray. Like, I feel like we could beat them, honestly, despite the fact that they have a much more valuable side, and they're not. They're playing at about the level that they can play at, given what they're doing tactically. I still, any dropping any point sucks, right? Like, but we'll get him back. We're gonna get him back.
Yeah.
We're gonna get him back, bro. And they're gonna drop points, man. I know they're gonna drop points at some point. It's just impossible that they keep this torrent pace up. Anyway, next up, I wanted to get to this. Talha, I wonder if this is.
I was wondering the same.
Man.
I was wondering the same.
If Talha, if you are the young footballer from Australia, I want to say, by the way, I heard about your injuries. I hope you recover 100% and you get back to kicking butt over there.
Definitely.
Soon.
Get well soon to Talha. Whether that's Talha, the Talha or not, get well soon to Talha.
Yeah, we all need to get well soon in the mental health sense.
Hopefully the ankle heals up and that you can come back stronger than ever.
Yeah. Excuse me. He said Jedson Fernandes, man. If Jedson plays bad, the whole team plays bad.
I didn't think he was bad, honestly.
I mean, he didn't have a standout performance, right? Like, I guess you could say, like, as he has in previous.
I thought he was good enough. I mean, I guess Jetson has set such a high standard this season that we maybe come to expect more.
People are expecting heroics at this point.
If he doesn't score, you're disappointed at this point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If he doesn't give a clear man of the match performance. By the way, speaking of a clear-cut man of the match performance, I should absolutely mention, by the way, that I had put our man of the match from Lyon, onto the internet. I wanted to see what the people thought, and Jetson won that too. To our surprise, you could say.
And I even voted twice.
Oh, you sneaky bastard!
Trying to shuffle the deck, I voted twice. I think I voted twice.
But so 21 people voted. Jedson won with 48%, Felix 38%, and Ersin with 14%. So the people have spoken. Mm-hmm. I think we could say Jedson was the man of the match for Lyon. I don't think we need to do it for this one.
I mean, don't we? I mean, I think you kind of still do, right? We should make a tradition out of it, and then I think we should still do it. Maybe not.
Blackie, match then. My pick, Sharon Dale.
All right.
Can, what about you?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm going to go with Sharon Dore too, by the way.
I thought Emirhan was pretty good. I don't know.
He was by the way. He was good.
Yeah, I'll pick Emirhan then. I don't know. I honestly don't
Felix know. Felix was pretty good again today too, guys. Except for that one header.
Felix is he's very, very good. I like him.
He's so stable. He's very stable.
If it wasn't for Davinson Sanchez, he'd be the best defender in the league.
That bastard.
Yeah.
Colombian bastard.
Yeah.
Don't say that. Get fucking flagged for racism, man.
He's not a bastard because he's Colombian. He's a bastard because he whooped our butts today. Umer Gunal says, not position-wise, he's brought Onur on as an attacking option to replace Rashid here and there. Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to see it. I mean, if anything, it's an indictment against John Kelesh, which that's a whole other conversation, which I don't even want to have. Umer Gunal follows that up with, if he's selecting Onur because he makes him laugh, I'm going to have a seizure. And they talk about how Immobile was dead. We already sort of retorted. Talha says, I am not him. I am from the Netherlands, but I also wish him a quick recovery. So that's good sport, yes. But Talha, we wish you a quick recovery too.
Yeah, and don't forget to subscribe. If you're not a subscriber yet, don't forget to subscribe. And
follow, and subscribe.
For sure.
But we wish everyone a speedy recovery from what we've all experienced today, unfortunately. Talha said in this match that Rafa was good.
Rafa. I think for Rafa's standards he wasn't exceptional, but he wasn't bad either.
It's always the good with the bad, like he has these moments where it's like, oh, why couldn't he connect that pass? We would have had a chance. But then on the other hand, he puts himself in positions that nobody else would have to make those mistakes. So
he done really good. They stopped him by fouling him a few times as well, man. Like if they don't foul, who knows what's going to happen?
Torreira was
that back heel as well to João Mario was very good.
Yeah. That was.
I actually thought João Mario was solid today. Also, before he came out,
I didn't want to say it because I thought he was good, but I don't want to say that because people like to hate on him, and I don't want to. I don't want to seem like the guy who's like just sticking up for the guy who gets the hate. But I thought João Mario was decent today as well, honestly.
He's not doing what we need, man. Like I think, like
yeah,
I
but
thought
you can't
he was
fault him for that necessarily, can you? Like
good, he wasn't bad either. He was just all right. If I was to say like out of 10, I'd probably give him a 5. Like he wasn't.
I think that's really harsh.
But I'm saying like 5 is like average, man. Like not in like FOTMA stats, but as in like 50%. Like I'd say like average.
Still think that's harsh.
You're talking about João Mario?
Yeah. He didn't do anything exceptional, man.
No, he didn't do. But I mean, a 6 is that. I think a 6 is the epitome of not doing anything exceptional, right?
No, but for me, like a 5-star pass, I'm not thinking it.
You must have had some strict teachers in your day, man.
Bro, you're thinking about like fucking FOTMOB, man. That's why.
No, I'm just thinking. I think a 5 is really that's bad. Like if you have.
But yeah, like even Cartel, like you play like FIFA, if you play the My Play or whatever, right? If you just didn't do anything, you get like a 6.
Yeah, but
basically.
that's like FIFA. For me, like if I was to mark something at a 10, 5-star pass, it's not a fail. It's 50%.
I mean,
okay,
for me, Rafa's like a 6.5.
This is semantics.
Where most of the team was 6, I would give him a 6.5.
Okay, but let's guys.
Okay.
Let's not debate semantics, please, because then we can.
Yeah, you're right.
More minutes. I had a big question for you boys at the start of the show, so I'm gonna ask you again. Cartel, I'm gonna start with you now. Would you take a loss on Thursday for a point today?
I think I would have taken the loss on Thursday and a point today.
All right.
Yeah.
What about you, Sinan? Loss.
You don't want to substantiate your claim there, Cartel. Why? Why would you do that?
A point today would mean the league's still in our hands. A win in Toothbrush State Stadium means we'd be top of the league if they win all their games and we win all ours. So now it's not in our hands anymore. Like we need them to drop points. So that's why I draw today.
I'm gonna say that I would not change anything because I live by this motto of not having any regrets, and I feel like you can't live like that. And frankly, look, I think that match against Lyon could have revitalized our whole season. It could have lifted the squad, and frankly, like it could be behind why we were so competitive today. And like we've all agreed that it wasn't such a cut and dry. Like Galatasaray just dominated this match and deserved 100% outright this win. Although Cartel, you're sort of on that side of things. I think even you've said that you've added some nuance to it.
Yeah, I think the referee was bad, but I think just based on they just had more chances than we did. I think so. That's what that was based off of. Obviously, if the referee was good, it could have been a completely different story. That's my take.
So you, I think I take a point today. Quite honestly, similar thought process to Cartel. I think if we get a draw today, then I think we're the favorites. Honestly, now we're on the back foot, but I don't think it's as bad as some people are thinking right now. It's 5 points, and I really think that a lot of Beşiktaş fans, a lot of Fenerbahçe fans. I think a lot of you are scared shitless because of last season, because there's 102 points.
And
because of their start to the season. I think, normally speaking, they're going to go through a tough period this season where they drop points. That's just inevitable.
We've talked about the ease of schedule up to this date, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just the balance is going to fall the other way, and it's going to be sort of sudden.
Yeah.
So be prepared. I mean, they're going to have a number. Just think of all the home games they're playing in a row. Mysteriously, right?
Yeah.
That's going to reverse, and at some point, in the second half of the season, they're going to have a bunch of away games in a row.
Yeah.
So
our schedule now is going to be our schedule is becoming a little bit easier now in Europe and in the league, I would say. We still have the Fenerbahce home game, of course. We still have to go away at Göztepe. I don't remember if that's the first or the second half of the season. But by and large, we've also played more away games than home games so far. So we've got a couple of more home games coming our way. So I think there's no reason to panic. Of course, this is a tough loss.
A disappointment. We're all disappointed.
Yeah, of course, but it's within the realm of possibilities. M. Sarper also said he's proud of the team. I think I agree with that. Talha said, I don't like Mario because he slows us down too much, but his creativity can be crucial at some moments. I do think he sometimes slows us down a little bit. I think that's right, and he makes a couple of wrong decisions necessarily. But I think he's a good enough player. But the problem is that he's the wrong player for what we needed. So we need to correct that mistake. In January, we need to get rid of Ox. Hopefully, we can sell Mucci, and then we can bring in 2 quality players, 1 left wing backer and a good winger. Let's get to those comments, Graftal, because you were saying Gio made some big comments. Do you have them at hand?
I'm just getting the habit.
Yeah.
Just now. Get them up. Okay. I mean, there's been statements as well from Hussein New Zealand and
go ahead. Do those statements first. Let's see what they say.
So, Haberkartel has marked this as historic statements from Giovanni van Bronckhorst. He said the loss is upsetting. In general, he was happy with the game. He said that we played a confident game and we dominated it. I don't know if I agree that we dominated, but that's what he says.
Possession, we dominated, so I guess,
And he means dominated like on the ball.
We dominated the possession for sure. I think we didn't dominate in terms of chances for sure.
We had 60% of the ball, but I don't think that's dominating a game. But
no, but I think if you're in an away derby and you have 60% of the ball, that's dominating possession at the very least. And
anyway, I'll finish this. Actually, it's probably better I finish this and then we comment. But so after that, he said there was one team that wanted to play football today, and everyone, and that was us. So he's saying that only we wanted to play football today. And everyone knows that was us. So he says he doesn't want to speak too much. I may get a punishment. He wants to be on the touchline for the Kasımpaşa game. So he says basically, I don't want to get punished, so I want to be on the touchline for the Kasımpaşa game. He says, I don't understand why Galatasaray weren't put down to 9 or 10 men. The fouls done on us were unbelievable. He says that the fact that they didn't get red cards from these fouls was unbelievable. He says everyone can see that we weren't protected by the referee. We showed that we are Beşiktaş. He says on the second goal, just while Arsene was arranging the wall, the referee blew his whistle.
The ref blew his whistle?
Yeah.
Okay, that's different. Then, yeah. That's a fucking scandal then. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's what I said earlier.
No, I thought they just took the free kick quickly. But if the referee blew his whistle, that means the referee told the player to wait for the whistle. And if he is blowing his whistle while the wall is still being arranged, that is unacceptable. That is not that. Yeah, that's a proper scandal.
He says the opponent everything, jumping in with 2 feet, striking the stomach, pulling the shots. He says like when it's this way, it's really hard to get a result, which I agree, it is. So what do you boys take away from those statements from our coach, Giovanni van Bronckhorst?
You want to go first,
I mean, they echo for me. They echo something which we've already said, which is that to beat Galatasaray, you have to not just beat them on the pitch, but you have to beat them in a manner where the ref can't intercede, right? Because you have to beat the ref too every time you play these guys, and it's been.
I think if you play an away derby, you have to beat. You always have to overcome the referee to a certain extent because it's always going to be at least 55-45.
Yeah, and with Galatasaray, that's true basically no matter what, even at home often. So it is what it is. But I mean, Fethullah Gulen has died, so maybe maybe that comes to an end at some point.
I don't want to get bloody sued, man. Just I wouldn't say that, man. You don't want to say.
Hey, you think I get sued for that? I just mentioned his passing. Yeah, maybe I crossed the line.
Nice, Sinan, nice.
I
can remove it.
I haven't. Yeah, maybe on the back end.
Hopefully, Audie Amali's no longer watching, or else you're fucked, man.
Yeah, he's gonna come after me.
I don't think Jordi cares that much about that, at least.
But yeah, look, I'm glad he's saying something, right? This is the stuff that we thought, oh, if we get Mourinho, like at least he'll say stuff. You know, it's good. Gio needs to speak out. You need to advocate for yourself.
Yeah, but it doesn't get you points, does it?
No, it does. At the end of the day, it is what it is. But you got to do it. It's just like a part of the politics of the game, the back end. But look, like I said, at the end of the day, we're gonna win at home. We've been given no indication that we're not capable of that, and yeah, I like the fighting spirit. Go down fighting. Why not?
Yeah. I agree, by the way, with what he says to an extent. I think that's a fair point to say that we were the team that wanted to play. I think Galatasaray, as soon as they got that goal, they stopped wanting to play, and their focus was on stopping us. I think that is also clearly reflected in the stats. I just pulling them up again, but 21 fouls committed versus 13. I think that is a fair comment then to say that they utilized their leeway with the referee to a maximum effect. They took yellows when they felt they needed to take yellows. They got away with a couple with fouls, of course. Yeah, they did what they had to do to win the game, and today that wasn't playing good football. That wasn't outclassing their opponent at home. That was just getting the result over the finish line. We had the similar thing in Samsung, for example. Obviously, we didn't utilize the same tactics in terms of fouls and all that kind of stuff, and we didn't really play dirty or anything like that. But sometimes you have to do what you have to do to get the result over the finish line. I think that is what Galatasaray did. I think we were the better team. But at the end of the day, they scored on 2 free kicks, and we didn't put much up against that. As for the referee comments, look, if that's true about him blowing the whistle as we are still organizing the wall and stuff, I think that's grounds for dismissal for the referee, because that's not acceptable. But other than that, they got away with some fouls that they probably should have gotten yellow cards for. But if you're gonna cry about that too much, Gio, I got a surprise coming for you in the next couple of derbies you're gonna play, because this is not gonna be the last time you're gonna face those types of situations. That's just Turkish football.
Do you want me to read Hussein Yücel's statement as well?
Please,
So Hussein Yücel says basically our opponents today, again this evening, they didn't celebrate with our manners. They made the mistake with the swing post. You know how they done this post with us on the swing with Fenerbahce's swing last year. I
don't pay attention to them, man. Like
basically they're saying because coach supports us. Like, Rami coach is obviously a Beşiktaş fan, and obviously they say that with the money they gave we signed Michi and Musrati, that was because they're saying because of that. Obviously, Ari coach Fenerbahce's president. It's bullshit, obviously, because Rami coach is the Beşiktaş's oldest club member, but Galatasaray made a statement that just because coach is our sponsor and they helped us with those signings, that we're on Fenerbahce's swing, that we're in cahoots with Fenerbahce, which is obviously bullshit. So basically,
pathetic.
He said he made the mistake of making that post with us on the swing last year. He said this year they made another mistake. He says, he says that our opponent that makes these basically that shares these posts. Since last season, I've not got off the swing of the TFF and the MHK. The MHK, for those who don't know, is basically the referees federation or the referees committee. So basically, saying that they've not been celebrating for manners. They've made these mistakes of these disgusting posts about us, but in reality, they're the ones that haven't got off the swing of the TFF and the refereeing committee. I mean,
a little banter, back and forth.
No, but that's yeah.
And then, do you want me to get those statements from
Yes.
Jason Fernandez as well?
From who? Sorry.
Jason.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah. So Jason Fernandez, I've been thinking I should do this for a while. Apparently, it's actually pronounced Jason Fernandes.
Fernandes, yeah,
Fernandes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jitsun Fernandes.
So he's saying that it's hard to accept the defeat. We conceded 2 goals from set pieces. But he says there's a situation, however, where on the second goal, the referee blew the whistle before Aston was able to properly basically set up as well. He says this isn't fair. He said there was a bad refereeing performance today, and we were punished by this. Basically, we've been unjust by the referee. We've been treated unfairly by the referee. The standard of the refereeing is not right. Basically, says all the fouls and the cards were given against us.
Does Jetson say this?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
says
I can understand from a player's perspective if you're on the field and that happened with the whistle on that free kick. That is a very crucial moment in the game. I mean, I said it before. I think the momentum was fully in our way. It was against a run of play. We were going to score. I felt like we were going to score. And if it's true that the ref just, when we were organizing the wall, blew his whistle, I can very much understand players stepping off the pitch afterwards with a very rancorous feeling towards the referee. So I don't blame him, but he's gonna probably get a suspension for this.
Yeah. So I seen Destarolo as well. He made that statement. He said the referee basically gave all the decisions in Galatasaray's favour. We get fouled, but Galatasaray's given the foul. I can't understand this. They had players with yellow cards. We are going to attack. There was a foul, but the second yellow was not given. He says when I was still setting up the wall, he starts the game. They're talking about the referee saying he starts the game. He says I go and basically complain as the captain, because that's the rule now. Only the captains are complain. He says I get a card for this. He says basically the referee got in the way of the football. He says we actually played very good today. The ball was with us. We played good. We made we created some positions, or some chances, I should say, would be better English. He says we've came here to an away game. If the games are basically
even,
so
yeah.
If the referee if the referee
calls it down the middle,
yeah. Well, I'm struggling to find the English word. It's weird. Basically, if the referee officiates the game, that's it. Officiates. If the referee officiates the games like this, how can we win? He says it can't happen like this. He needs to officiate a fair game. Basically, call what you see. It's that simple. He says it's going to be hard for us every time their fans say ha-hoo. If you give a foul to Galatasaray, it's going to be very hard for us. It's not easy at all. He says we come out here with the hope of millions as 11 people. When you get wrong decisions, it makes stuff for us a lot harder. We become under pressure. I think that's a brilliant statement, but he might get punished for that as well.
But do you guys, can you think of a lot of situations where the referee, like 50-50s, where he called in their favor instead of us?
To be honest,
Sorry?
I can't, no.
Yeah, I have a hard time too, honestly. Sinan, do you have a lot of positions in your mind? Because I felt like we actually got a lot of fouls. And I'm not saying they weren't fouls, but I'm just saying, like, in the past, I feel like in these types of games, I was often left pulling my hair where like, why is the ref not calling? Why is he waving play on? And look, I do understand that right before their second free kick, there's a foul on Rafa, not called. On the other side, bam, it gets called. Free kick gets taken. On top of that, the free kick gets taken while we're still setting up the wall and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, that is going to add a lot of frustration. But over 90 minutes, like, look, I might have. That's just from, I haven't seen anything back. I did not have the feeling it was a game like that where the ref officiated only for the home side, so to speak. Like, I did not have that feeling. I'm sorry. I understand players are left with different feelings, of course, coming out of that match, especially if he was still setting up his wall, and that is just, that's gonna give a very.
The referee was bad. Like, we still weren't good enough to win this football game. It's that simple.
What do you think, Sinan?
Yeah, I agree with Cartel's sentiment there. I think the ref was pretty bad, but I also think that, I think we're flogging a dead horse here, to be honest. Like, it's what you have to do. You have to beat the refs. You have to beat, it's the standard. I mean, we've all been watching Beşiktaş long enough to know that this is basically what you can expect.
The position,
you expect bad refereeing.
The position in the 4th minute, Simi's position, that for me that was the same position, Cenk to Gomez. The difference is Cenk laid it off, Simi shoots himself.
Yeah,
I think that is a big difference today.
Yeah, and we won that game 1-0, and we probably win this game today if he does that.
I think so.
I think maybe it's another 5-0 if he does that. Who knows?
I don't know, but I think
it's certainly that's a whole.
So if anything, I think if we go
a lot of speculation, who knows? But
that turns the game into a situation that we saw last game.
Yeah,
it does. I think so.
We're a brilliant transition team, man. Mm-hmm. Like, in terms of like quick attacks, we are fucking brilliant at it. I think even today we showed it at times as well if we were able to play that last pass. That's our bread and butter, man. And if we get the early goal, that's just going to allow us to play that.
Yeah. One last comment from Yusuf. Why does Simi keep getting pocketed by Kaan Ayhan? I think maturity, experience. I think Simi is not in good form. As
well. That's the thing.
Yeah. Last season.
What do you think?
Yeah. And as Kaan said, but man, Simi's not good in the big games, man, unfortunately.
No.
So far, apart from that Trabzon game last season, he's not shown up in the big games.
No. So far, he's a small match player at best.
And he's always, like, even at his best, he's like a moment player. He's a guy who has these moments of brilliance, these great runs. But the problem is they're becoming farther and fewer between.
I think
which is
between
troublesome.
December and March, he had a really good run of form, and I thought he was really good outside of moments as well. I think he was good in the games as well. But ever since that snub for the national team situation in March, he hasn't.
That was a turning point.
He lost a lot of his confidence, and he just hasn't been the same. And I think he's been. Yeah, I think right this season he's suffering from not having scored yet. I think that's definitely playing. You can see it. I think it plays a big part in his in how he plays. We just have to hope he gets a goal and he turns things around, because obviously Simi is a tremendously talented player. And look, I think any form of criticism we have on him, you need to take it with a pinch of salt. At the end of the day, he's 19 years old. He is very obviously a quality player, but right now he doesn't really show up in the big matches, and in general he just hasn't been good this season. And I think if Giovanni van Bronckhorst had more options on the wings, Simi wouldn't be playing much right now.
Yeah, and it'd be fair.
And it would be fair. It would be fair. All right, boys.
I actually want him to play because we literally don't have anyone better.
We don't. Yeah, we don't. It's true. All right, boys. Any final thoughts on the match?
Not on the match, but I just want to say that we need to keep our heads up, man. And it's far from over.
That's right.
There's a lot of games left to be played. Today we showed that with a fully healthy team, and especially if we get a couple of good additions in January, and I think with our fully healthy, we're better than Galatasaray anyway. But I think with a couple of additions in January, I think we can really have a good chance of winning this league. So they need to come to our stadium. They need to come to the Inner man. So don't forget that.
And let's not forget, I think they, especially their fans, but I think they were thinking today was gonna be revenge time. I don't think they got what they wanted. I think they wanted to see a team. I think they wanted to see their team beat our team properly, like outplay us, outclass us. I think they kind of squeaked by, and I don't think they got what they wanted out of it. If anything, whether you agree with those comments on the referees or not, I think right now what is important is that the players hopefully believe that, and that they can pull strength out of it and confidence, and that they can turn,
use that as motivation to say that we're going to fucking beat the system.
Yeah.
I have one final point actually, and this is, in line with what you guys are both saying about how we shouldn't let our heads hang. That there's nothing too negative here to get worried about. But there's actually some good signs, right? Our biggest fear after Ajax was like, is this a thing with Gio? Is he going to play this kind of wussy ball, consistently, whenever he's faced with any sort of stern opposition? And the answer against both now Lyon and, Frankfurt, Lyon, and now Galatasaray is no. I think he's learned from that lesson.
That's a great
and that's
point.
One definite positive. Right, we can look forward to him. I think he's now confident that we can play the ball he wants us to play, regardless of our opposition, and that's a huge step for us going forward. I'd say.
To be fair, I didn't think he'd play like that against Galatasaray after we just pumped them 5-0, playing our own game in August. I'd be more worried about other European games, but I think against Frankfurt and Lyon, they proved that's not the case. I think, to be honest, I think the problem with Gio is that maybe he's just got some trauma from his Feyenoord days.
Maybe he does, yeah. But I have to admit, I think that's a great point by Sinan, because I myself was left worried that he was going to do this in away derbies, and he didn't. And I think that's a positive for sure. And our next away derby is in the second half of the season, hopefully with a couple of good additions. Anyway, I think that'll do it for this painful episode of the Black Eagles podcast. We are back. Beşiktaş is back on Saturday, playing at 1700 hours Central European time. So 5 in the afternoon Central European time. That is 7 locally in Turkey. I think that is, what is that, Sinan, for you? Like 1 in... No, that's 12 noon. So that's our next game. The game after that will be on Wednesday. That is the 6th of November. We will be playing a
crazy early, right?
A crucial European match against Malmö. That one is at 16:30 Central European time. That means 6:30 in the afternoon in Turkey. If you can go, if you have the opportunity to go, if you're in Istanbul, go to the match, please. Let's make sure that that stadium is packed for that Malmö game. It is extremely crucial for our hopes to go through to the next round in the Europa League. We have to win that one. Super important. Of course, the one against Kasımpaşa is also super important. So if you have the opportunity to go to both matches, please do so and go. I will be recording an interview tomorrow about Malmö to preview the match. So that will be up tomorrow on our Patreon. So take that opportunity, go to patreon.com/Beşiktaş podcast, become a Patreon member today, a Black Eagle VIP for just $1.99 a month. That episode, that preview for the Malmö game will be up tomorrow already. It will be up a couple of days, probably on Monday or something like, well, I'll probably put it up on the weekend maybe. So we will be back next Monday after the Saturday game against Kasımpaşa, and then of course we will be back again the subsequent Friday to talk about the Wednesday game against Malmö. That's all I have got, other than please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and go check out our Patreon page and become a Patreon member. So I'm gonna hand over the microphone to Sinan now, and thank you all for watching.
Oh, whoa, that's weird. My phone just started making noise. Yeah, look, folks. Gonna be a rough wait for this next match till Saturday, because we're all gonna be stewing over all the negative thoughts be swimming around our heads. But just try to stay positive, because we've got a great season in hand thus far. we could still build on it. No time to put your head down. So with that said, Saturday I'm going to be coaching my daughter's team, so I'm going to miss this game. But I'll watch the replay, and I'll be here for the next episode. And with that in mind, let's go Beşiktaş! We still got this, baby. We're going to beat them. Second half of the season. We're coming for you, Lions, kittens. Thank you to Özkan Derzavaci, Dinar Tilek, Uzcan, Paul,
Çok güzelsin. Harika.
Gregory, and the Dutch Eagles. Peace out, everybody.